other than retiring from your current profession, could you see yourself leaving Notre Dame of your own volition?
No, no. I mean, look, I think Mike Tomlin had the best line, right? You know, unless that fairy godmother comes by with that, you know, $250 million check, my wife would want to take a look at it first. I'd have to run it by her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the last 48 hours, Oklahoma and Notre Dame, and in Notre Dame's case, the winningest coach in school history, both Oklahoma and Notre Dame lost their head coaches, not because they were fired or left for the NFL. Let that sink in.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Look, Mike, wouldn't you love to make NFL money in a league that is not as tough as the NFL? No disrespect to college football, but it's not the NFL. But you're getting NFL coaches money, and you don't have the pressure. You could get into a nice little recruiting cycle, and you can hold the job for a dozen years. Like Brian Kelly was there for 12 years. Right. Brian Kelly was there for 12 years. Lincoln Riley would have been there as long as he wanted to be there.
I don't know about the part where, and I don't mean to cut you off or derail you.
You don't think it's easier?
It's not. We've had this. See, I don't want to derail it.
Mike.
We had iterations of this conversation before. It's different. Not necessarily easier.
It's easier.
Okay.
It's easier.
Are the players at the NFL level the highest level of players? Yes, but across the board. The college football. We're talking about the rules. It's not easier. It's not easier.
Go out.
There are more teams. There's more competition, and 4 teams have a chance at a championship. 4 teams have a chance at a championship.
And if you're at the right, and if you're one of the 4 teams, you don't think it's easy. You don't think
I'm sorry,
Nick Saban's job. Let me ask you this. Before I ask you that, what's going on with you? You look like somebody's rapper. Like. What are you doing?
I'm glad you can laugh about it.
You got the old school
like I'm about to be in the lab, dropping
1998,
doing a mixtape, about to do a mixtape.
You like it's like an album cover or something. Like you like on the cover of Midnight Marauders. You're one of those dudes like with the oversized headphones. But what's going on with the headphones and the hat and the whole look?
Just a mood. It's a mood today.
Just a mood. You're feeling very 99, 2000.
But
okay.
But you were saying. Let's get
you don't think
Nick's? What you were saying?
You don't think Nick Saban's job is easier than Bill Belichick's job? You don't think it's easier?
No, not necessarily. I think he makes it look easy, but no, not necessarily. I do not believe that.
Okay. I think if you're one of those 4 programs, and my larger point is, in my opinion, you can have NFL amenities without NFL pressure, without NFL headaches. Yeah, there are headaches at the collegiate level, but fewer so. Because in the NFL, you have their checks and balances. Even Bill Belichick has to deal with the owner. Brian Kelly is essentially the provost, the president, the head coach in charge. I had a little remix there at LSU. He's the most powerful man in Louisiana today. So, athletic director, has a title over him, but stop it. He's the highest paid employee in the state. He can he is at one of those programs. There are about maybe like a half dozen programs in the United States, realistically, where you can go in every year, you have a chance of winning a championship. Cincinnati has a chance this year, but this thing is cyclical. It ain't going to be this way in 2 years for Cincinnati, in 5 years. It will be for LSU. LSU won a championship under Nick Saban. LSU won a championship under Ed Orgeron. LSU won a championship under Les Miles. LSU will be in contention for a championship under Brian Kelly.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Oh,
I think LSU will. It's a great
No,
program.
no, you're probably right, but I'm saying I hope not.
Why? But why do you say that?
I'll tell you.
Why do you,
I'll tell
why
you
do
why.
you hope not?
No, I'll tell you why. Go ahead.
What don't
finish.
you like?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Well,
I'll tell you why.
I'm curious. I got to know. I got to know. Yes, I got to know now.
This is me to Brian Kelly today. This is me to Brian Kelly, putting a hex on him, because this is a bad look for college football. The Lincoln Riley story, I could live with. I could live with the Lincoln Riley story, because Lincoln Riley, you're going to Los Angeles, they're giving you the private jet, they buying your house and paying off with $1 million on top. Your house is in Norman, Oklahoma. Did I mention you're going to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
And you're taking the easy route back to the college football playoff because you didn't want that SEC smoke. And you weren't going to get to the playoff this year. You just lost Bedlam. So you're in a vulnerable position. USC supposedly comes calling in the middle of Saturday night, Sunday morning. So I get where Lincoln Riley's coming from.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened.
Brian Kelly.
Yeah. This thing just
Brian
all
Kelly,
came together so quickly.
No, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You know I don't believe it. You know I don't believe it. Brian Kelly, on the other hand, Brian Kelly foul for this. This is foul. Because we already know that college football is about everything but the players.
Right.
But in this case, man, I can't hate the game. I'm hating the player right now. My
Tell me
dude.
why. I don't get
I'm talking
it.
to Brian Kelly. I'm getting there. I'm gonna tell you that. I like to back it in the post a little bit. Magic Johnson start backing down from half court.
All right.
Yeah. Brian
That
Kelly.
dribble, that high dribble.
My dude, your team has a 58% chance of making the playoff. And that is conservative. There are a number of realistic things that can and will happen this weekend that will put Notre Dame in the playoff for the third time under Brian Kelly. So don't you dare talk about what's important to kids, your staff, or anybody. And Michael, look, this ain't nothing new under the sun. We have seen coaches leave for other jobs. No, wait, this is different. This is different.
It's not different.
Leaving for another job when you're about to play in some random bowl game is one thing.
Okay.
Or in the case of the aforementioned Ed Orgeron, saying, you know what, I'm going to hit the beach. I'm going to hit Destin, Florida. I'm already up out of here. I'm not coaching in the bowl game when you've already been fired. Okay, we get that. Brian Kelly is bouncing when your team is probably going to be ranked 5th or at worst 6th tonight. And you're leaving with I thought we were playing for championships. I thought that's what the point was.
Oh,
He just said after they beat the brakes off the
So you're
Stanford
on
the other night. Hold on. The other night he said, we're one of the best 4 teams in the country. And we're looking forward to having an opportunity to prove it. And now you're going to LSU. Like, what? Yeah. So, and again, the kids don't get paid. The system is the system. These coaches make money out the ass, and the players, they get a little crumb called name, image, and likeness, and told to take it and like it. Okay? Mm-hmm. After all these years, they finally can transfer. It finally kind of feels like free agency. Because as you and I talked about yesterday, as it relates to Nick Saban's most recent rant, it may not be professional football, but it's for damn sure big business.
It's close. Oh yeah.
This is a new low for college. This is a new low for college football. Because I get it. Brian Kelly, winningest coach in Notre Dame history. That LSU money is long. It's a premier program. Again, Notre Dame, LSU, in college football history, there is no comparison. But I'll talk about the SEC momentarily. But bottom line is, for him to abandon, we've seen people abandon recruiting classes. Coaches get fired. Hell, Orgeron just won a championship yesterday before LSU fired him. I get it. Yeah. But this is an extreme. This is an extreme, Michael, and I am pissed off about this. This pisses me off because there are a bunch of players, and then he broke up over text. He probably broke up over text.
That's on brand. That's 2021. Shout out to 2021.
You know why? No.
There it is.
Because he knows it's a punk-ass move. He knows it's a punk-ass move.
I wish somebody had broken up with me over text because I ain't need to endure that humiliation in person at a restaurant. in front of my
This
people.
is so.
Do it over a text.
I don't need
Do
you-
it with a meme.
A text. No, because there's no way you can look somebody in the eye at 7 o'clock. I mean, I guess he did. I mean, I haven't seen all the reports. I guess he did.
Don't
meet him
look
at
me in
7
the eye.
a.m.
You
this
gonna
morning.
say
I know
you
one
gonna break
thing.
up?
In
I
a
don't
very,
need it. I don't need
in a
eye
very-
contact, Mike, for a breakup. I don't need
in
eye
a very
contact for a breakup.
2021 fashion, in a very 2021 fashion, he changed his Twitter, header and background just like that to LSU colors. But what I'm saying, Michael, is go get your money, get paid. I've never begrudged anybody for getting paid, even in a sport that exploits its labor force the way college sports does, specifically college football and basketball do. But in this case, this rubbed me the wrong way. And if I'm LSU, and look, I'm from New Orleans, but I got people that went to LSU. I got people that, my brother went to LSU, okay? Loves LSU. I got a lot of friends went to LSU and ride or die for LSU. It's a big day in Baton Rouge. But if I'm LSU and I'm an LSU fan, or for that matter, an LSU player or prospective LSU recruit, I ain't trying to play for no snake like this.
Oh, come on.
That's a punk move,
Mike,
bruh.
Okay. No, it's not a punk move. No,
They didn't go 6-5. They didn't go.
Okay.
They're not playing. They're not playing
Listen.
in the Sunflower Seed Bowl. They're on the verge of the very thing that you play for. At least, can we wait a couple of weeks? I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
see that? There it is. There it is. That's why we're in this situation. That's why we're having this disagreement. Because you think they're playing for something that they ain't playing for. And so that's why you're upset. And if you look at it that way,
Sorry.
I understand.
You're right. You're right.
I understand.
You're right. That's my
Why?
bad. That's my bad. I'm being
Yeah.
real altruistic
I understand
right
why
now.
you're upset.
That's my bad.
That's my bad.
That's my bad.
Can I hear it? Can I hear it? Can I hear it coming in? Do I hear Eddie Levert? Do I hear the OJs? Some people got to have it. Yeah, I mean, some people really need it, right?
Some people.
Some people
Really need
it. Doing things, doing things, bad things with it. Boom, boom, boom. All right, that's what it's all about for Brian Kelly. Now, the numbers last night we heard were crazy. We heard 15 million last night. Maybe it is
15 a year.
with all the clinics and all the perks in the contract. For the government, though, at a base level, it's $9.5 million. Okay, that's the, but then those incentives take them past Dabo, past Saban at the base level. The incentives are going to take them past Lincoln Riley. This is the game. You know how you hating the players? He's just a part of the machine. He's a part of the empire. And the bottom line is, yeah, he's at Notre Dame, but Notre Dame is kind of like Notre Dame is still stuck in between righteousness and the evil empire. On one hand, Notre Dame is part of the empire. I know I'm close to home. I know it's getting hot up in here. NBC.
It hasn't stopped
I
him
know there's
from
a
winning 10
relationship.
games, 6
I know
out
it's
of
getting
7
hot.
years.
Right.
And this
I know,
would be if he makes the playoffs, his third playoff. So it hasn't held him back.
Ain't it? Okay, that's part of it. So playoff system, get that playoff money. NBC got your own contract. There's something alluring. There's something magical about Notre Dame's books and poems and movies have been
They're
produced
only on
about
NBC
Notre
every
Dame.
Saturday.
So that's great. That's great. But then on the flip side, Notre Dame still has this. We're Notre Dame. We are one of 2 Catholic institutions playing big time college football. And although we're get biblical on you, Mike, although we're part of the world, we're not of the world. You know, we won't do things that certain other schools will do in pursuit of a championship, because on one hand, we're in the pursuit of championship. On the other hand, we're in pursuit of righteousness, right?
I've heard,
so they're doing
I've
that
heard
whole
all this
thing.
before. This has
Yeah, I
been
know,
knocked on Notre Dame
so
for
is-
years.
And so is Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly dealt with it for 12 years. And you know what he probably doesn't want to do anymore? Play that game. Give me the
Michael,
money. I had good money. I had good
Michael,
money in Notre
are you
Dame.
hearing
Wait,
what
hold
I'm
on a
saying,
second.
though?
Hold on. I hear you.
I'm not even
I hear
talking
you.
about that. I'm not talking about the
I
opportunity.
know you're not, but you
because
should be.
I'm talking about the timing.
That's what it's.
This is
Oh, that's
messed up. Okay, fine.
Nobody
fine.
cares.
Fine. That's the problem.
Nobody cares about the
That
timing.
Say it again. Say it again.
Nobody
Please. Say it again for me.
cares.
That's the
about the
problem.
timing.
And that's historically been the problem. This has been a broken system that people have put little pieces of tape on here and there in the
Okay.
form of a transfer portal, in the form of name, image, and likeness. And we've all just come to accept that, hey, you know what? The kids ain't getting a piece of this pie. Okay, we just accept it. And it's fine. It is what it is. That's the game. The game is the game always. But Michael, this is a new low and a new extreme. When as a coach jump ship when your team is in contention for a championship? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
LSU. I'll say this last
Maybe
thing.
he knows.
I will commend Brian Kelly from this standpoint, because unlike Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly is running to the fire. Brian Kelly, and this is why I disagree about it being easy. Brian Kelly is not only going to the SEC, he's going to the SEC West.
Okay.
He's got to go. He has got to go through Alabama. He got to go through Auburn. He's going through. He's trying to take down Saban. I'm saying in college football. I'm not comparing it to the NFL. I'm talking about college football.
Well, I am. That's the only way. That's the only way it's easier. Is it in a vacuum? Is it easy? No. Is it easier than NFL? Yes.
That's fine. I'm past that. I'm just saying from Brian Kelly, if he's not only looking for LSU's infrastructure and resources, but also looking for just a new challenge, Michael. Just a new challenge. Maybe he feels like he's done all he can at Notre Dame. Maybe there's a glass ceiling at Notre Dame. Maybe there's a glass ceiling at Notre Dame, and maybe
there is.
as much as he's saying we look forward to proving that we're one. As much as he's saying we look forward to proving that we're one of the best 4 teams in the country, maybe in his heart of hearts he believes we're not going to beat Alabama or Georgia, and we've already lost to Cincinnati. So maybe he doesn't think they're as good as he's outwardly projecting.
Okay, Mike.
So maybe for a number of reasons, LSU is a better job for him. I just wish people thought about the kids more, including the very coaches who tell them we're playing for the opportunity to win a championship. And you know as well as I do, I'm sorry, I'm going over time. You know as well as I do, that fickle-ass committee, that fickle-ass college football playoff committee may end up looking at Notre Dame's resume and saying, yeah, you know what? They look good, but now they ain't got their coach. So instead of taking them, we'll take 2-loss Alabama or 2-loss Alabama, whatever it is.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying this is just awful. I feel for those players if nobody else will.
Yeah.
I feel for them.
All right. Okay. A few things.
I'm about to bring out the theme song. I'm about to sing the theme song. Cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes.
Yeah.
I'm pissed today.
Let me get to all this. All right. So this is just a different day. It's a different day in college football. The history that Brian Kelly has made is that he's the first coach who has said to Notre Dame, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the time that you've given me. Thank you for the platform. I'm out. It has never happened before. It has never happened. Notre Dame is like the Apollo Theater. No, we tell you
it's a destination job.
We get the Sandman. Sandman comes over and gives you the hook off the stage.
Yeah,
but he decided
it's most people's dream job
to exit stage left. And the dream job now is not a location. The dream job is where the biggest bank is. That's the dream job. So when you're in college football, and we didn't talk about this last week because it's just like such an ordinary story in 2021 that nobody sits back and says, oh, wait a minute, really? That Hugh Freeze, who was at Ole Miss and left in scandal in 2017, now in 2021, he signed a contract through 2028. He's at Liberty. Where? Yeah, Liberty. He's making $4 million a year at Liberty. Oh, okay, they're not going to win a college championship. It's not a championship program, but there's a lot of money out there. So there's money. If there's $4 million at Liberty, if there's $95 million, Mel Tucker, at Michigan State, then $110 million at USC is not the top of the mountain. Now, Nick Saban can look at all this and say, okay, it's time for me to get hooked up again. The money is outrageous. So the dream job is not South Bend, Indiana, and Grantland Rice, and Newt Rockne, and Rudy. No. It's how much bank do you have? And if you have bank, I will leave Notre Dame for LSU. I know you do.
Overstand that. What about the kids' dreams? That's all I want you. Please acknowledge
I'm
that.
glad you
Just
mentioned
acknowledge that.
Let me answer
what
this
about
about
the
kids.
players dreaming of playing in the playoffs?
Let me tell you this
he's
about kids.
abandoning.
Yeah, great. Let me tell you about the kids.
And I don't usually talk like this, by the way.
If I had I know, I usually don't hear you say this stuff, but if I had a kid who were a great college athlete, I'd say, if you're playing D1, we're just looking for the best deal for the family. Your mother and father love you. Your mother and father care about you. D1 coaches who are in pursuit of championships in general are not doing it because they care about you. So what about the kids? Nobody. Hey, okay, top 5 programs, top 10 programs, they ain't thinking about the kids. You want somebody who's thinking about your kids, go to D2 or D3 or a program that is not built around winning championships.
Just to be clear, I'm not naive. Like, we've long recognized what this is. I'm not naive to think that when somebody sits in your living room and says, I'm going to take care of your son, I'm going to see him through the next 4 years, whether it's the school's choice or their choice,
he'll come back as a man.
It doesn't matter. I'm being ultra specific here to this set of circumstances, which maybe is just a perfect storm when it comes to the opportunity. It's that they're a playoff team with an opportunity to play for the very thing that is supposed to be the goal. When he goes to LSU, what's he going to be telling them? I'm here to win a championship. Are you really?
Yeah.
Or are you here until somebody comes with a bigger check?
Because he knows LSU, when he gets done with them, will have a chance of winning a championship. And maybe this is a failure on Brian Kelly. Notre Dame can get into the playoffs. Notre Dame is not going to win a championship. Notre Dame's not a championship team. Can I say sorry?
Well,
sorry, Notre Dame. You're not.
Maybe that was his implication here. That might have been his implication.
And he knows that.
That they ain't winning it this year, so I might as well get out
while I
can.
Teams.
Maybe that's what it was.
They're playoff teams and they're championship teams.
Can we talk more later on? Let's carve out some time later on to talk more about not only the dream job point, but also this idea of USC being the mecca of college football, says Lincoln Riley. I won't get to that later on, but I'm sorry. We have seen people get the bag before, but not get the bag when you're on the brink of getting a championship or at least being in the playoff. I've just never seen this.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.